us. Okay, hi. So we're going to go through the senior belt purple syllabus for 4th Kyu, which is the purple belt with 2 white stripes. So this is getting quite high up there now for you. So this is as promised for, I don't know how long we've said we'll do this, but going through it now. And a lot of this syllabus now for the seniors won't actually change as you move through. We'll expect to see better techniques, better positioning, stances, all that sort of thing that we expect to improve across your time. But because your syllabus itself doesn't change that much now, we will expect to see much better improvements as we go forwards. So keep working on them. We'll go through, as we have done with the other ones, we'll go through our Kihon, our basic, our Kumite, which is our set, and our Kata, which is obviously the planned movements. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to do Sambonzuki. So Sambonzuki, Ich-ni-san, it's 3 levels. So it's 3 level punches. Now, so this time it's rather than Jodan, Chudan, Gidan, that you would expect with like Sambon Kumite that we can do. This is actually Jodan, Chudan, Chudan. And that's the timing is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to take our position into Gedanbarai and make sure when we're doing these techniques that they're nice and snappy, that think that you're actually blocking a kick when we do this. Us? Okay, so stepping down into Gedanbarai. So we're going to come forwards nice and slowly. Jodan, Chudan, Chudan. And again, Jodan, Chudan, Chudan. Okay, now I don't have much space, so I'm going to be doing 2 forward and 2 back. So 1, 2, 3, and again, 1, 2, 3. And yummy. Now, when you're doing these Jodan punches, make sure that you're not going too high. There's a risk when you do them, is that you step forwards and we Jodan way above our heads. Okay, you need to make sure it's just your head height. So you're aiming sort of for your forehead or your chin area, as long as it's there, but no higher. We need to see that difference between your Jodans and your Chudans. So Jodan should be sort of eye level, Chudan is just below your badge level. Okay, so you don't want your Chudans coming up here. They need to be just below shoulder level. Okay, so let's do that again. We'll do 2 forwards, 2 back. Again, as with the other videos, if you've got the space, do more. If you don't have the space, you can start Gedanbarai, Jodan, Chudan, Chudan, and then step straight back again. And if you really don't have much space at all, then you can do it on the spot. So start here, and then Jodan, Chudan, Chudan. And then again, Jodan, Chudan, Chudan. Okay, so it gives you this practice. We know you can move your legs, so if you really don't have that much space, you can just do the arms. So we'll start off, Gedanbarai, and then Sambonzuki, 2 forwards, 2 backwards. And Yame. Now, of course, again, if you don't feel comfortable doing Kiais at home, you can do them, leave them, it's up to you. But do remember that on that last Gyakuzuki, you need to be doing that Kiai when you're doing your grading. So the Gyakuzuki would be your 2nd punch, okay? So our next techniques that we're going to go through is, again, working through the levels, basically. So we're going to do our Soto-uke combination. Now, this one is quite long. There's a lot to think about with it. You've got stance changes, you've got different techniques, you've got elbow techniques coming in. So we'll start off, again, Gedanbarai. And the important thing with this is we do change stance from front stance to Kibadachi side stance, in straddle leg stance, okay? So I want you to make sure that you're not cheating. Now, cheating is going straight into Kibadachi. What we want to see is big Soto-uke in front stance, then Kutsudachi. Okay, we're then going to pull our front foot back, so in this case it's our right foot, pull it back together, so we're sliding our hands both open. Now, whether it goes over or under, that's usually quite a big question. So, Soto-uke, pull to the side. For me, always over the top, because we're going from the top down. So you're dropping down onto the opponent. Whereas if you're going sideways, you're coming up. So it's going to be more of a drop down. Okay, so Shuto-uke. Feet together, keeping low. Hands are open at this point. As we slide sideways, they pull apart and come to a Yoko-geri. Okay, so the hands come across and slide. And you'll see that my hikite arm, as it comes round, as both the hands are sort of over each other, they're turning into fists. And then it squeezes back. And you're really squeezing those shoulder blades together. Okay, so Shuto-uke, Yoko-geri. Okay, we're now in Kibadachi. We're now going to come round with a right hand uraken. Okay, so from the front, this hand starts off facing palm down. It travels, and as it travels and gets to the end, it then twists into uraken. So uraken is the back fist. Okay, so Shuto-uke, Yoko-geri, uraken uchi. Okay, we're now going to do, it's not actually written in the book, but it's a good way of getting ready for it, is we step our right foot, which is our leading foot, and our leading hand comes out. So we're doing a Tate Shuto behind us. We're effectively doing Zenkutsudachi facing the wrong way. So we don't turn our foot from Kibadachi, it just steps back. Okay, and that goes at the same time as the hand. We're then going to pivot and twist on our toes to bring a left hand Gyakuzuki in. Okay, and that's giving you a good front stance, getting that hip in, and it all lands together. So we've done the uraken, Tate Shuto, Gyakuzuki, so twisting in, Gedan. And that's the end of the combination. So it's Shuto-uke, Yoko-geri, uraken, Tate Shuto, Gyakuzuki, Gedan. Okay, so we'll go through, I'll flow through it, I'll do it forwards, and then I'll do it sideways so you can see what the hands are doing as we go. Okay, just have to keep checking I don't walk into the TV. Okay, so Shuto-uke, Yoko-geri, uraken uchi, Tate Shuto, Gyakuzuki, Gedan. Okay, so from the side, we're going to Shuto-uke, pulling up, Kibadachi for the Yoko-geri, uraken uchi, again that's Chudan, so it shouldn't be too high. Snapping it back and it comes to your chest. Make sure it connects with your chest, it gives it a stronger move. Tate Shuto, stepping across, Gyakuzuki in a nice long front stance, Gedan. Again, twisting those shoulders, pulling that hip back into that move. Okay, so we'll do 2 forwards and then we'll do 2 back. So you don't turn, you just move back. So, from Gedan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 moves in it. Okay, so Shuto-uke, Yoko-geri, uraken uchi, Tate Shuto, Gyakuzuki, Gedan. Now going backwards, probably only do 1. Shuto-uke, you're literally stepping backwards. Again, Yoko-geri, uraken, Tate Shuto, Gyakuzuki, Gedan. Okay, so together, Gedan, and then backwards. And then Yami. And Rei. Us. Now, the Ki on this would be on the Gyakuzuki. It's the strongest technique in the move. Okay, so once you've come round for your Tatishuto, Gyakuzuki, that's where your Ki would be. Okay, this one is slightly harder to do on the spot, but you could do. So if you really don't have much space, obviously you can do this stepping backwards and forwards. If you can't do that, you've literally got no space and you just have to do it on the spot, then Shuto-uke, Yoko-geri, Raken, Tatishuto, and I would suggest then you perhaps do just twist, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. So you're just sort of twisting on the spot, okay? So it would be Shuto-uke, Yoko-geri, Tatishuto, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. So you're really not using much space at all, okay? But remember, it's forwards and backwards. And when I say cheating, you're going outside block, not into front stance, but here, straight into Kibadachi. We don't want to be seeing that. Make sure we see that change from front stance to straddle stance, okay? So the next technique is our Uchihuki. So Uchihuki coming underneath. And again, we're looking for stance changes on this. We're looking for the changing from back stance for our Uchihuki into our front stance for our Kazamizuki. Kazamizuki, front snap punch. So you don't pull it back, it just goes straight out. Okay, so to practice that from your Gedanbarai, Uchihuki in Kokutsadachi, then we change, so we step our leading foot, the front foot out to the side, and that's going to give us the front stance. As we do that, our blocking arm twists. Okay, so from there, twists. So you do feel like you're going into stepping longer into stance. It should be the same length stance. You're just pushing in. And on this one, your shoulders are more pulled back. So Oizuki, you'd be here. Kazamizuki, you're off to the side. Okay, it's a snap. All right. So the technique we're going to do from Gedanbarai, Uchihuki, Kazamizuki, Gyakuzuki, throwing that hip in, Gedanbarai. Okay, and then again, Uchihuki in back stance, Kazamizuki, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. And on this one, you'll probably find you actually end up travelling forwards. So on the Uchihuki, if I go a little bit sideways on, Uchihuki in back stance, driving in on that Kazamizuki, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. And then again, Uchihuki, shuffling in, Kazamizuki, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. It does mean you have to shuffle back when you go backwards though. Okay, so let's go through it nice and slow, forwards and backwards, and then we'll add a bit of speed into it. So, Gedanbarai, and 1, 2, and backwards, 1, 2, and yummy. Okay, so speeding it up a little bit, all right, and Gedanbarai, so 2 forwards, 2 back. And yummy. And remember to breathe, obviously. So again, the Ki would then come in once you've done your Uchihuki, Kazamizuki, your Gyakuzuki is where your Ki would be. Okay? So moving on now, we're going to move on to our Shutos, everybody's favourite. Okay? So this time, where we've previously just had Shuto and Nukete changing the stance, what we're actually now going to do is add in a front kick. So like we did Kazamizuki, we're now going to be doing my Kazami-geri. So it's a front leg kick. Okay? So, stepping down into Shuto-uke, Kokutsadachi. Okay, we're going to step forward. Shuto-uke. Check your feet are facing the right way, obviously. Now, this doesn't have to, if you can get Chudan, do. It doesn't have to be. This is what we would class when you're sparring as a feint. It's a distraction, okay? So what we're going to try and do is not lean back. You've got to try and get that foot up, but it's quick. So basically what you're going to do is step out and over. That's the easiest way to explain it. So if I just demonstrate the full technique. So from Shuto-uke, again, checking that technique before you start. Heels are in line. Again, shoulders together, okay? So coming forwards. Shuto, front leg. Ozanimageri into that front stance. Nukete. So as you land, the nukete comes in, okay? So, Shuto, Ozanimageri, nukete. And again, Shuto, Ozanimageri, nukete. Okay, now I have to admit when I do this, when my right leg is on the supporting leg, I do shift back slightly. Okay, it's injury induced, so that's how I have to cope with it. The left leg is obviously a bit better. All right, so stepping down, Shuto-uke, and 1, 2. Okay, and make sure when you do this nukete, you don't want to be locked out, okay, and we don't want to be here. Got to make sure that this is just what we'd call a soft elbow, all right? So it's not locked, it's just a little bit softer, all right? So stepping back into Kokotsudachi, and 1, kick, nukete, 2, and then backwards, which actually feels a bit easy because it's a back stance move. And 2. And yame. Now obviously when you're doing this, just start off with practicing Shuto, then practice putting in the kick, and then put your nukete on, all right? It's easier to build it up that way than go, okay, Shuto nukete that we've done before, and then put the Ozanimageri in the middle, all right? Space-wise, if you're going to do this with very limited space, you'd be Shuto, which would tend to come out to the side, kick, land, nukete, Shuto, kick, nukete. So it's worth doing as you stamp that foot down, put the nukete in. Okay, so Shuto. Okay, so I know we're going off to the side and sort of twisting our body, but if you think about it, that's what you're doing in back stance. Okay, so for the other way, Shuto, nukete at the end. Okay, so it gets you to get that kick. So if you're limited on space, that's a way you can work around that. Okay, so the next one we've got is, it's got some couple of kicks to start with, so we will, because of space, only get one technique there. We then turn and come back. Okay, so we don't expect you to try and do kicks going backwards but needing to do forward ones. Okay, so Kihon, so it's basics from a nice wide front stance. Okay, hold those arms to keep your balance. So what we're going to do, we're going to kick off the back leg, Maigeri. Okay, land, back leg, Mawashigeri. Okay, pulling up. So we're getting into that halfway position here. Okay, hand by the ear, elbows are joined. Okay, then landing in front stance, Uraken, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. So it's Maigeri, Mawashigeri, Jodan Uraken Uchi, Chudan Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. Okay, so from here, Maigeri, land, Mawashigeri, get ready, Uraken, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. All right. So, into your ready position, and 1, 2, ready, land. And this is a bit like the Sambonzuki that we did before. Twist your body off, okay? We're getting into this ready here, Because what we want to do is land all of our weight going forwards into that urakenuchi. All right. So 1, 2, ready, land, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. And of course, the Gyakuzuki is where we come in with the Kiai. All right. On the other leg, again, Maigeri, land, Mawashigeri, get ready, Uraken, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. So we're looking for those hip twists, we're looking for the stance changes, okay? Make sure you're landing properly. So going all the way through it, okay? So let's shuffle back and do that again with the other leg. And 1, all right, okay, so practice that a few times. All right, again, it does depend very much on the space with this one, so to do it on the spot or in very limited space, stand ready, Maigeri, other leg twist, Mawashigeri. You can then get ready, and again, as we did with the Shutos, when the foot hits the ground, come in with the Uraken, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. Okay, go back to ready, and then do the other leg. Maigeri, Mawashigeri, get ready as we land, Uraken, Gyakuzuki. So we're twisting on the spot to get that hip coming in and using that hip to bring yourself round. Okay, so we've landed on the Uraken and our body's sort of perhaps 45 degrees from where we were. Twist on the spot, Gyakuzuki, and I'm using my hip to pull myself round, so that's really helpful in that move. And then Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. Okay, so it's a really handy way of practicing that on the spot. So the next one we're going to do, very, very similar. So this is going to be, again, change stance, front stance, Kibadachi, and then back to front stance to Zenkutsudachi. So from our Zenkutsudachi, no. Okay, so we're now going to go through our next one. And again, we're looking for stance changes. We're going to be in Kibadachi to start with, so our straddle leg stance. We're going to do a Yoko-geri Kiyagi, so the snap kick, okay? Okay, so this one's very, very similar to the previous one, where we did Maigeri, Mawashigeri. We're going to change the Mawashigeri for a Kakami. Okay, so it's the thrust kick, really pushing that hip in, okay, making sure we're twisting on that supporting foot. So it'll be Maigeri, Kakami, again, coming to that ready position, but because the next technique changes. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to come in with a Jodan Shuto Uchi, okay, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. So Maigeri, land, back leg comes through, Kakami, okay, getting into that ready position. Now we're going to do a Jodan Shuto, so both hands this time open, okay. So from ready, Maigeri, Kakami, get ready, Shuto, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai, okay. So we're changing the Mawashigeri for a Kakami and the Uraken for a Jodan Shuto. Okay, so from ready, 1, pulling up, come round to kick through, Shuto, Gyakuzuki, Gedanbarai. So let's do the other leg. So right leg forward this time, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so again, there's limited space here, so if you're on the spot, then you would do Maigeri, Kakami, get ready, Shuto, Gyakuzuki, again using that hip to pull yourself round. Godan barai. Okay. Maigeri. Kakami. Shuto. Again, slightly off to the angle. Bring your hip in. Gyakuzuki. Godan barai. Okay. Also, when you're doing kicks, make sure there's nothing around to kick over. You know, dogs, animals, children. So make sure you've got your space when you're doing it. All right. So we'll do one set on each leg. And hajime. And yummy. Okay, so the next combination we've got is our Yoko-geri Kyagi, Chidan Gyakuzuki, Godan barai. We're going from Kibadachi to Zenkutsudachi, back to Kibadachi. Okay, so into a nice Kibadachi to start with. Make sure your hips are right, shoulders are back. You don't want to be leaning forwards on this. So we step across. Knee points where we're going, get the foot ready, okay? Kyagi out to the side, squeeze those muscles together on your side, all right? So you don't want to lean yourself in, all right? What you want to do is lift your leg with your side muscles, all right? As we land, come in, Gyakuzuki. All right, so we're landing front stance with our reverse punch. We're then going to go back to Kibadachi. So that hand stays where it is. We come up, Godan barai to the side. All right? Okay. So let's do this for you from the side. So from Kibadachi, step across, Kyagi, land, Gyakuzuki, Godan barai, but as we do the Godan barai, back to Kibadachi. All right? So once more from the side. Kyagi, Gyakuzuki, Chudan level, Godan barai. Okay? And we do that forwards and backwards. So when we go backwards, once we've done our Godan barai, we do a Godan barai and snap our head the other direction. We don't need to turn our feet, just our head. Okay. So, 1, 2, and then back, 1, shuffle if you need to, 2, and yame. Okay, so that actually is all of our basics. We are now going to go on to our sets. So the Kumite. So for seniors, you're doing set 4. Okay. So with set 3, we started introducing angles, and we follow that through in set 4. You've got the 5 techniques again: Jodan, Chidan, Maigeri, Kakami, and Mawashi-geri. Okay. So from our Zenkutsudachi, from our Godan barai, it would be Jodan attack, Chudan attack, Maigeri, Kakami, thrusting in, pull back to land. So you want to try and land front stance on your Kakamis. And then Mawashi-geri. And again, use that hip to pull yourself around to land. Okay, a lot of karate is about the hips. You think it's about the hands, it's more the hips. Okay, so set 4 for Jodan, you will be expected to be able to do it both sides. So with Jodan, we're going to do a Uchihuki. Okay, now it's an open-handed one. This is a Kaishu Uchihuki, or you could call it Uchihuki, because you're coming underneath the chin if you were striking. We're actually using it as a block, so it's a Uchihuki, and we're going to block the punch. The attack comes in, and you're catching the fist between the hands. Okay, so from Yoi, we step our right foot back because it's a right attack coming in here. Okay. So from yoi, we step our right foot back here. You need to have your left hand in front, right hand behind. If you think there's a hand coming through here, we're going to grab it. Okay. So from the block, grab the wrist and pull the person over. You're pulling them right down. At the same time, pulling the hikateya hand back. Okay. So from the side, here, pull. Okay. So you do put a slight twist on your body when you do it. Block, pull. We're now going to do a mawachi and mawashi-geri. So the better you pull them over, the easier the kick will be. Okay? So, block, pull. Going to do the mawashi-geri to their stomach. Keep going round. And we're going to land enpi uchi to their head. Okay? Either to the head or the temple, the neck. All right? If they're taller than you, you'll go for the ribs. Okay? So you have to work with the size opponent you've got, which is why we do tend to mix you with different heights of people where we can to get that practice in. All right. So stepping back, block, pull across. Mawashi-geri, ushiro empi. Okay. And the other leg. So when there's a left attack coming in, we step our left foot back. This time the right hand is on the outside. Okay. Block, pull across. Mawashi-geri, ushiro empi. Okay, so that's your Jodan. Jodan punch is coming in. It's a right punch again, and this one is you'll recognise from your basics, from your Kihon. We step 45 degrees. Okay, so it's a right attack coming in. We're going to step to the right. We're going to do Shuto-uke. Okay, in back stance. Okay. Front leg kick, nukite. It's in the basics. So, Shuto, Maikazama-geri, nukite. And this is where you'll see that the leg doesn't actually have to come up very high on this, because you could be attacking the knee, the shin, the thigh. You could be going for the groin area. If you're able to get in at the stomach, then great. But it's a, oh, look, I'm kicking you. No, I'm not. And then coming in with the nukite. All right. So, comes in, punch is coming this way to my left-hand side, so I step away from it, kick, nukite. So again, where it's a left punch coming in, step off to the left, kick, nukite. Okay? So my-geri. The my-geri kick comes in. We're actually going to do a stance we've not really done before in your basics. It doesn't appear very often in Shotokan. It's called cat stance, so neko ashidachi. We're going to do a gedanbarai to block. So from here, comes up and down. Okay, that's your block. The leg, we're going to sort of step out of the way. The kick's coming in, we're going, woo! All right, so woo, off to the side. Kick comes in, block. Now this lot has to go quite quickly because they're moving forwards and you've got to try and stop them. We're going to do a tate shuto. So, block, tate shuto. So we end up twisting our body. So we're stopping them falling. We're then going to come in with a mai empi. So it's going to, or a mawashi empi. It's going to come round. So you're using more of the flat part of your elbow here. Okay, so where your elbow bends here, and we've been doing side attacks. We're actually going to use more of the flat part. And that's going to go across the sternum. And it'll probably win somebody if you get it right. So you need to be quite careful with this one. So, cat stance gedanbarai. Wind yourself up with your tate shuto. Step in. Mawashi empi. So it's coming around the side. All right. They'll be in their position here because there was on a kick, and you're landing right on their chest. So for the mai-geri, it comes in, block, and you don't have to do a full technique on this one. All right, because you do it so quickly, it does tend to just be a one-handed. You need to try and get it two-handed if you can. So, gedanbarai. wind up, pulling that hikite arm back so it's got all the direction to travel. Step in, use your whole body weight. Mawashi empi. So, Mai-geri comes in, and the kiai is when the elbow lands. On the other side, and again, get my arms the right way around. Okay, and we will do a lesson on breathing because it's really important to get your breathing right on these, because it gets the technique stronger, powerful lands, all that sort of thing. So the next technique, we've done Jodan, Chudan, Mai-geri. We've got our Kakami, and with the Kakami, with this one, we're going to slice the cake and serve a cup of tea, which sounds a bit daft. We've all got daft ways of remembering things, okay? Because when I was learning this, I had to remember it was cat stance, meow. But there we go. So this one is Kakami, and we're going to do it as, it's a Gidan Heian-uki. So Heian-uki on Heian Nidan, up here. Heian-uki on this one is Gidan, so we're coming down and round, okay? So you want to go on the outside of a Kakami. You do not want to go on the inside if you can. So where I say the inside, so the Kakami comes in, this would be the inside. You want to go at the back of the leg. Okay, so that's the outside. So the kick's coming in. I'm going to step away from it. So my right foot steps back. And you want to be stepping into Zenkutsu if you can. You do tend to twist a little bit when you do this. We swing the arm round. So as you can see, my hand comes round and I'm using the back of my arm. The other hand comes hikite. We're now going to, that's cutting the cake. We're now going to serve the cup of tea. So we're going to do a Heian-uchi, the ridge hand. So you tuck your thumb in and striking with this side of the hand up, which is why you need to be in front stance so you can get that hip in. So it comes in, block, twist for the Heian-uchi, and you're aiming again for the neck or for the temple. Okay. So 1. And then the other side, block, strike. Okay, and yame. So our last technique of our sets is Mawashi-geri. So the kick's coming in from the right leg to start with, Mawashi-geri. We're going to do a cardboard box. I'm going to do, it's a double Heian-uki. All right, so it's a double block. You're actually blocking with the side of your hands. So your hands tend to go quite high on this. But it does depend again on how high that kick is. If they're really flexible, chances are it's going to come higher, block higher. If slightly lower, block lower. But a lot on this one actually is moving out the way. We're tracking that kick. The kick comes in, we move out the way. All right, so if you can imagine the kick coming in here. So the kick's coming around this way. I want to go away from it. So the kick comes round. We're going to turn into Kibidachi and block. We're then going to slide in empi, but you're augmenting it this time, Marotti empi. So you're going to hold your hand against it. So you see some martial artists bow like that. So we're all augmenting it here. Okay. So the kick comes round and we move out the way. So it comes in, block, empi. And that you don't want that too high because you're going into the solar plexus. So in Kibidachi when we slide in, and you do need to push off that back leg. So from the side, the kick is coming in this way. So it's doing a semicircle this way. So I'm going to move out the way. So it comes round, block. And you don't necessarily go 90 degrees to it. Depends where they get to. Okay, depends how long their legs are as well. So once you've blocked, sliding in, empi. Okay. So do that as a flow. So it comes round, 1, 2, and that's where your kiai is. So again, from the front. All right, so from the other way, the kick's coming around this way. So I'm going to track it around. Comes round, double block, slide in. So the kick's coming this way. So I'm going to track it, slide. Okay. So all the way through the first side. So Jodan, and back, Godan, and back, Ouki, and back, Kakami, and back, and Ouki-geri, and back. And then the other side, so this time it's the left leg stepping back. Godan, and back, Ouki-geri, and back, Kakami, and back, and Ouki-geri, and back. So that's your set. Remember, do not just practice this set. 1, 2, and 3 need to be practiced as well. Okay, so we're going to go on Heian Godan. This is the 5th Heian kata. It's the last one that we're going to learn. You've got a lot of techniques in here you'll recognise. So we've got something in there from set 3, Ouki-geri. So we've got our Uchi-uke, Uchi. We've got a bit of a twiddly hands bit, which I'll go through as well. We've got back stance, we've got front stance. Okay, we've got a jump, so careful if you've not got much ceiling space. So we'll go through it slowly. We'll add bits on. We'll do the first half, then we'll do the second half, put it all together. There is a video on Heian Godan anyway, so please do follow that along as well. As ever, if you want to see somebody else doing the kata, search for Kanazawa Sensei, and he shows it as high speed and slow speed for you. All right, and that's who we follow when we're doing our katas. So to start with, we're going to do our inside block to the left, just like we do on Heian Sandan. We're going to do Uchihuki, keeping the body facing forwards, Sambonzuki. So we're going to do a side punch. Okay, so step out into back stance, Sambonzuki. We then pull up, so our back foot comes in into high sokodachi, Mizo Nagari no Kamai. So here, we've got our hand at our fist is Hikite. This hand comes down, so you think this drop of water needs to be able to roll off. We repeat the moves to the other side. So we turn our head as we come into this position. Block, punch. This time our attack is coming from the front, so we're going to come into this position and look forwards. So we'll do that combination. So 1, 2, 3, nice and slow. Knees are slightly bent on this. 4, 5, 6. We're going to drop our left hand, right hand comes forward. So on Heian Nidan, we do a Uchi and we're in front stance. On this one, we're actually going to do it in back stance. So from here, drop the hand, Uchi. Step through. As you step through, your hands come together as a cross. So you're from Uchi, left hand on the outside, up to the armpit area. Keep stepping through into front stance, block down. Uchi. This is why it's important to have that left hand on the outside. Pull in, open the hand, strikes. This is like a Ouki-geri block. It's got to be on the outside. From here, you need to twist the hands together. So you twist the wrists to face each other. So they twist, keep the wrists together, roll them round so they're the other way up. If you have them this way, then it just doesn't work for you to be able to get the twist right. So left hand out here, face the hand wrists together, roll round to here. All right. So let's go back to the Mizo Nagari. So flowing water posture here. Left hand drops, Uchi. Step through, Godan Uchi. Pull back, Godan Uchi. Twist the hands and roll. And as they get to this halfway position, they separate. The left hand on top pushes out, the right hand comes Hikite. Okay, so we've done our Uchi, step through, Uchi, twist the hands round, Tate Shuto, then step through, Oizuki. Obviously, I'm shifting my feet slightly for space. You shouldn't shift your feet. So once we've done our Tate Shuto Oizuki, that's the first ki, that's the first half of the kata. So we'll go through that together, nice and slowly. So 1, 2, nice and slow, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, twist the hands, 10, hey, and that's your first half. So the next half, we're actually going to turn back the way we were going. So from our Ouki, twist on the spot, drop it down to a Godan right. We're almost like doing a slightly off out of the angle front stance. We're going to turn into Kibadachi. So our back leg, which is currently our front leg from our Ki, twist. This back leg comes round. The right hand is going to do a big Godan right. Okay, so from Ouki, that's an intermediate position. Coming round, Fumikome, so it's a stamping kick into Kibadachi. Godan right to the back, the way we came. All right, so to see that the other way, we twist on the spot, come round, Godan right in Kibadachi. All right, so from there, so we're in our Kibadachi. The left hand, which is currently Hikite, comes underneath and it opens. Okay, so we're here for the Kibadachi, turn, so we'll be coming back to the front, and the hand opens, it goes underneath. We're going to come out nice and slow, and as you come round, it comes flat on the kime, on that focus at the end, twist, tighten your lats, and you open your hand to the side. So it's got travelled round flat, and then lands here. So it's Shuto-uke, it's a backhand block, or Shuto-uke, backhand strike. So from here, we can turn our head. We're now going to kick. Now, it's a Mikazuki-geri to the hand. If you can't kick high, this Shuto-uke needs to come slightly lower. You don't want to be moving that hand when you do your kick. Naturally, we do a little bit anyway, but you want to try and avoid it. From our Kibadachi, round, focus, tense here. Our back leg, our right leg, so twist the left foot because we're going to turn round, kick. We're then going to land, so we're turning 180 degrees. So we've kicked our hand as we land in Kibadachi. Our Hikite arm comes round here, a bit like we do on Heian Yondan. So on Heian Yondan, we do this. And your elbow comes in, it's the same strike that we're doing here, so your hand comes inside. Kibadachi. Here. All right. From this, we're going to bring this inside hand up, and our left leg comes into Kozadachi, cross stance. So struck here, here. Think that you're doing an augmented uraken to the back. Okay, so this is actually coming towards the front. So we're coming round, here, kick, land, crossing. So our left foot goes behind. We're now going to do, it's a funny name, Kohotsuki Agi. So it's an uppercut punch to the rear. So we're going to change from Kozadachi, from cross stance. This hand is going to, the hands stay together. Punch up. So what you think is you're landing on somebody's chest here, and then straight up under the chin. That's what we're doing there. So we're going from Kozadachi, from uraken, pushing up. As we push up, we look the other way. So from here, up, and we're going to Renojidachi, into L stance. So it's like a really, really short back stance. So your heels are in line and you're making an L with your feet. So let's go from the beginning up to that point. So from Yoi, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Turning round to that Godan. 1, high shoe, 2. Kick the hand, elbow. Coming up, punch. And this is where our kick comes in. So from our Koho Sukiyagi, from the punch to the rear, we're going to use our back leg to swing us round and up. Okay, so from here, it's going to come up. We're going to land with our legs crossed, blocking down. And you want to be as low as you can, but with your back as straight as you can. So this does depend on how good your knees are. So from here, punch up. We're going to go up and land. The ki is in the air. It's a very strange place to have it. So from here, punch up. All right. Legs squeezed together. So let's go from here. Punch up, round, and land. Once we've landed, we're going to step into front stance, going to the back. Uchihuki. So it's nice and simple. So again, position here. Uchihuki. Nice and simple. From here, out. Okay. We're then going to turn Godan Shuto-uke. Or it's like a Shuto Godan-barai that we're doing. So we've landed, stepped across, Uchihuki. The back leg steps across. Here. You need to make sure you step far enough across, because otherwise you end up in a really short front stance when we turn. This top hand, so this is our Godan Shuto. This top hand here is going to strike down, so it travels and twists. Your left hand is going to do Nagashi-uke, so it sweeps round and comes up to your ear. So from here, which is why it's important you have that wide stance. We're going to use our right hand to pull back, and so that's like a very high Uchihuki. This is going to do Godan-barai to the front, and we're going to change into back stance. We're going to do Manji-uke. So from here to back stance, there's got to be a big change. So Uchihuki, Godan Shuto-barai, Godan Shuto-uke with Nagashi-uke, Manji-uke. We're going to pull our front foot back, keep your hands as they are. We're in high sokodachi now, so toes are together. Now we're going to twist to face the other way. We're going to turn 180 degrees. Use this top hand, so as you come round halfway, looks like a Godan-barai position. Keep going. Right hand goes Godan-barai, left hand goes up behind. So we're in a high sokodachi Manji-uke again. So from here, swing round. It's your preference whether you go toes or heels. The general consensus is try and go on your toes, because otherwise you can damage your heels when you do the turn. All right, so do be careful. From here, twist. Left hand, we're going to step out into front stance. We're going to go for that Godan Shuto again. So right hand is going to do the Nagashi-uke, the sweeping block coming round. Godan Shuto-uke. This is in front stance. And then we're going to move our front foot across into back stance. Manji-uke. So you want to try, it's really quite hard to do, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Whatever level angle your front hand is at, the back hand should mirror. So if this is high, this would be low, and vice versa. But you want it sort of halfway between. Okay, so let's go from the Uchihuki. So we turn, Godan Shuto, strike, pull back. So we're going from open hands to closed hands. Pull back, twist, strike again, and then Manji-uke here. All right. So first ki is on the oizuki, second ki is on your jump. So we'll go through it once together and then we'll finish. So into yoi and hajime. and Yame. And Ray. Us. Okay, so that's your whole syllabus. Senior purple belts with 2 white stripes, 4th Kyu. Good luck with it. Enjoy it. And keep practicing your other katas. So you've got Takiyoku Shodan, Heian Shodan, Heian Nidan, Heian Sandan, and you're going to need all of those as well as Heian Godan. So practice them all. That's your syllabus. Good luck. Happy Christmas. And we'll see you in the new year. Us.